in spite of the fact that some people still think that they know him, but fuck him, he knows the code. It's not about the salary, it's all about reality and making some noise, making a story, making sure his click stays up. That means when he puts it down, Tox picking it up. Let's go. The heck is he anyway? He never really talks much, never concerned with status, but still even is starstruck. Humble through opportunities given despite the fact that many misjudge him because he makes a living from writing raps. Put it together himself, but a picture connects. Never asking for someone's help, how to get some respect. He's only focused on what he wrote. His will is beyond reach, and now it all unfolds. The skill of an artist. This is 20% skill, 80% fear, be 100% clear. His writing was ill. Who would have thought he'd be the one that set the West in flames? And I heard him wreck it with the crystal method, name of the game. Came back, dropped Megadeth, took him to church. I like Bleach, man. Why you had the stupidest verse? This dude is the truth. Now everybody giving them guest spots and stocks through the roof. I heard he fucking with S. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, 100% reason to remember the name.
Good evening and welcome to the Midweek Classic on Hometown Sports Trash Talk Podcast. I am your host, Mr. C, and always with me is your favorite OG, Mr. OG Munns. Mr. OG, we're wrapping up Week 14 of these fantasy playoffs. What were some of your biggest takeaways?
Oh, well, hey, man, I made 3 of my 4 leagues this year, which is exciting. I watched a lot of football this weekend, and my team that I had to buy put up probably the most points it's ever going to put up. So I hope I didn't blow my load in 1 week before I actually get to play here.
Yeah, I've never seen a team put up. What'd you score, over 220?
It was 236.
Jesus.
And there's nothing crazy. I mean, it's a full point PPR.
Yeah.
So, but there's no crazy, format where there's a bunch of extra players or 2 QBs going. So
yeah.
Everybody scored over 30.
Yeah, I know. I know. I was in fear when I saw that matchup. Obviously, you weren't playing anyone, but I sneaked out a win there against.
Oh, that was a close one.
I know.
I was holding my breath for you watching that game.
Listen, I was watching. I was just like, Baltimore defense continued to suck. Kareem Hunt ran it up. I was like, all right, here we go. So yeah, I sneaked out that win, and now I got you this week. And I'm telling you, man, I'm nervous.
Which we got to talk about that for a second. So you're the 5 seed.
Yes.
And I'm the 1 seed.
Yep.
I get a first round bye, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Second place team gets a first round bye, obviously. So our commissioner decided to not click the reseed button. So now the number 1 seed, even though the 6 seed beat the 3 seed, I will be playing the 5 seed while the 2 seed gets to play the 6 seed.
I know. So I want you to think about this. You're going to be playing a team that's 6-7 in the finals versus me being 7-6.
Right.
So I have to play your ass in order to try to get to the
probably
finals.
the 2 best teams in the league.
Oh, easily left.
Going up against each other just to make it to the playoffs or the championship, just because of a error.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's bracket style. So if the 3 seed would have beaten the 6 seed, which is what they expect to happen, then it lines up where I don't play the 3 seed.
Right.
So that part makes sense. It just doesn't make sense that if it goes the opposite way, it's not reseeded.
Well, we've talked about it all year, right? I mean, like the other division was just crapola. Yeah. And somehow they ended up with a first-round bye, and they had a negative. All of us in our division, we had plus 500 records.
Yeah.
They had negative 500 records.
Yeah.
Somehow they get a bye week. Not sure what's going on there, but it is what it is. So let's talk a little bit about tonight. So tonight, we gotta get these people ready for their Week 15 matchups, as well as I gotta get myself ready for these 15-week matchups. Hopefully many of you are still alive in your fantasy playoffs. Yours truly has started the season with 15 teams this year. So I had 15 drafts, 3 teams. I didn't make the postseason. Suckers. But 7 of them bitches are still alive. So I still got 7 teams alive. I had 4 on a bye last week, which was really nice. I got
4 out of 7.
4 out of 7 on.
Or no, technically you said 3 didn't make it. So 12 teams made the playoffs of your fantasy.
Yeah, I got knocked out in 5 of those last week.
5 of those last week.
Yeah,
okay.
I still have 7 alive.
Wow.
4 of them I had a bye. I have 1 team that's still 13-0 and still holding strong.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, dude.
Damn.
It's going good.
That's scary. I mean, though, I know it's scary in real football, but that's got to be really scary in fantasy. I mean, because you're just due for that fucking loss.
I know. So the thing is it's a 12-team league.
Yeah.
And only 4 teams made the playoffs.
Yep.
So playoffs are weeks 14 and 15, first round. I lost that first round, but luckily I still have this week to make it up. He beat me by 3 points. So I did technically
you technically got a loss?
I did get my first loss, which I'm happy to get that on.
Oh, so you can lose in the playoffs but still continue on.
I lost last week, but we played 2 weeks, so it adds up each points.
Oh, that's cool. It's
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
different setup. I like it.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes. I'm feeling pretty confident, except for when I have to play your team this week. I mean, you got to talk a little bit about your team with that turn your head in golf, because that team is just stacked.
So it's a solid team, and obviously the Devontae Adams Aaron Rodgers combo this season in this league format, because this quarterback gets 6 points for a touchdown pass, I believe.
Yeah.
So, that's been huge, because Aaron Rodgers, they score more. He throws more touchdown passes than than they run it in. But nobody's been able to cover Devontae Adams. He's been a touchdown machine, number 1 receiver in fantasy. So
I don't get why teams don't triple.
Yeah, but then, dude, they got the deep threat, Valdez Scantling can go deep on you. And Tanyan is not like just a nobody at tight end either, It's hard to cover everybody in the NFL. You try to do your best. No one's been able to do it against Green Bay, so that's benefited me. But also, here's what I'll say. Here's why my team has done great, is that I have the number 1 tight end.
Yep, Travis, which is he's playing.
He's playing another wide receiver at tight end, and it's such a thin position in fantasy this year. Like, you got Waller. Are you Waller in that league or another league?
I got Hawkinson.
Oh, Hawkinson. All right, so he's been pretty solid.
Yeah,
but he's nowhere putting up numbers like
he's half the Kelsey.
He's half the Kelsey. So that is huge in itself. So that adds. So basically, in a PPR league, I have 4 starting wide receiver
pretty
ones.
Much, right.
Because my flex play, obviously, in a PPR league, you're going to go wide receiver, not running back. That's just stupid. So you go receiver, unless you have a running back that gets 30 targets a game, but that doesn't happen.
Right, I got you.
So, you got Devontae Adams, you got A-Rob, who I got in the 7th, 8th round, I think, because nobody wanted to take a chance on Allen Robinson this year.
I heard that.
Paid off dividends,
Yeah.
So, things have gone my way. Hey, but I still think this is a close matchup. I'm only projected to beat you by 10. My running backs are not the best. I just got Eckler back.
Yeah.
I've been running with Kareem Hunt since Eckler went out. So now I won't be running with Kareem. I'll be running with Eckler. The only decision I have is, I'm not going to ask for your opinion because we're going against each other. But I am torn between playing Justin Jefferson or Juju.
I'm going to tell you, and I don't care if we're playing each other. I'm going to tell you to play Justin Jefferson.
See, everything online tells me to play Justin Jefferson. Everything, but the matchup tells me to play Juju Smith Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah. I get it. So for those of you listening, here's kind of what this week's looking like between. So we're playing each other in 2 leagues, but it's this league that's really, in my opinion, one.
This one's actually money, where the other one's more.
Yeah. So he's got Aaron Rodgers. I got Josh Allen. I think that's a push at the position. Miles Sanders versus Austin Eckler, just based on matchups. I like Eckler. Going against Vegas. James Robinson against Baltimore. You have Jonathan Taylor against Houston. I would take Taylor. I get Baltimore just gave up 4 touchdowns to running backs, but I would still take Taylor there. You have Adams. I have Ridley. Matt Ryan's not been the same, so obviously you got that. I have A.J. Brown against Detroit. You have Allen Robinson against Minnesota. I have them ranked literally neck and neck. You have Kelsey. I have Hawkinson. You win that. I have Julio Jones in my flex. You have Juju, but I don't know. Julio, I just found out, is week to week. So if I don't play him, I'm probably going to throw in probably J.D. McKissick. You have Rams D against the Jets. I have Pittsburgh's against Cincinnati. I would say that's a push. But and then you have Tucker. I have Carlson.
See, I think you have the edge with Pittsburgh going against Cincinnati. I feel a couple sack forced fumbles against that shitty quarterback, and I feel a definite pick 6 coming.
Yeah,
against Cincy. So I feel like your defense might.
The only place where I feel like I could have a chance is if New Orleans can somehow slow down Kelsey. If they can slow down Kelsey and he only gets 12 points instead of 25, I might be able to hang.
That matchup is the biggest scare. For me. Honestly though, Tampa Bay, you're playing two Atlanta receivers. So if Tampa Bay's defense shows up like we know they can, that's a tough day at the office for Atlanta.
Problem is Matt Ryan has sucked up my life all this year.
Yeah.
So I'm wicked nervous, man. I'm wicked nervous. And if Julio doesn't play, I'll play JD and leave Calvin.
Right.
Calvin's his value would obviously go up.
Right, definitely.
But then I got to play JD, and if fucking Smith doesn't go and I got to wait for Dwayne Haskins, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
So
JD's not I don't think JD is a good play again with Haskins in there.
I agree. So
You saw, dude, that offense didn't score a point once Haskins took over. Now, granted, I know he's not taking first team reps. He hasn't played in a while, but that offense went to absolutely zero.
crud.
Their defense won on that game.
Yeah, they're trash. Although that defense is nice.
It is nice.
Like,
it's been nice all season. I mean, they have one of the best front sevens. I mean, I've in a long time.
Last week I had them. And that's how I'm ending up playing in the other league. Washington D got me 23.
23? You played? Oh, I did. I
yeah.
think I did see that.
Yeah,
did you just barely win that one too?
I barely beat out
Jesus
Brian.
Christ.
Yeah, Washington D. He had Nick Chubb, and Chubb was like lighting it up.
Yeah.
Bastard. But
thank God for Kareem Hunt, or Chubb would have had even more.
Seriously.
If they didn't have to split, there wasn't a two-headed monster.
Well, I was freaking out because I thought that Hunt 5-yard touchdown run was actually Chubb.
Oh,
I was like, my wife was sleeping right next to me. I was losing my shit. and then I saw 27 and not 24. I was like, thank you, Jesus.
So it was a late night. Score watching.
Yeah. Daddy
was not sleeping.
Daddy was on the edge.
Daddy was not sleeping.
But on the other league, so you got Patrick Mahomes against the Saints. I got Kyler. I got Sanders again. You got Taylor again. You got Swift. I got Carson, Cooper Kupp. You got Adams. Man, you fucking with Adams this year.
He was my first round pick in both those leagues.
Yeah.
Both ESPN leagues, he was my first round pick.
I did get A-Rob. I didn't let him fall in that league.
No, nobody let him fall in that league.
Yeah.
And honestly, I got to be honest about the A-Rob situation. Me and you talked about it at that draft because it was at your house.
Yeah.
I said, dude, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to, but I'm really glad I did because, I listened to a couple things that, even with Trubisky last year, he fucking put up numbers. He still put up numbers. That guy's been able to be, he's not lighting it up, but he's consistent.
Yeah.
Consistently decent. Enough that in a PPR format, he's getting 7 points every time he plays because he's going to catch 7 balls at least.
He's a top 10 wide receiver this year. He averages over 17 points a game. Where I do have you in this league is I do have Waller, you have Evan Ingram.
Yeah.
You have DK Metcalf. I have Josh Jacobs. You have Keenan Allen, of course. That sucks. I'm actually, I do want to tell you this, though. I was glad to see New England defense out on the waiver wires. Only reason is if Tua starts, Patriots destroy rookie quarterbacks. So I'm hoping, even though Brian Flores knows us, I'm hoping Tua has a shit game against New England. But you have Indy defense against Houston, and I have the kicker, and you have Young Wei Koo, which he's like a flex play more than a kicker this year.
How about it? I picked him up off of late waivers in that league, too.
You picked him up off waivers?
Yeah, cool. Because I started off with... I don't even know at this point. He was such a bum. I forgot his fucking name.
Koo's gotten me like 3 games over 20 points.
Dude, I looked for him in all 4 leagues after I picked him up in this one.
Yeah.
Actually, in another one, though, I'm in one of my Yahoo. I picked up the Dolphins kicker.
Oh, yeah.
I replaced him for Dallas. Yeah. Once Dallas lost Dak, that kicker was useless.
Yeah, he's still useless.
I mean, no, he was fine when Dak was there. They were scoring over 30 points a game. They were letting up over that, though, too, so they weren't winning. But he was a fine kicker at that point until... then they lost their quarterback. They're scoring. They went all the way to.
They went to the Red Rocket.
They went all they went to the Red Rocket, but then they fucking went all the way across the nation to play a game to kick 1 field goal. So he got me 3 points.
That's true.
So
that's true. All right, man. So let's talk a little injuries here. So it's going to be a hell of a ride this weekend. Definitely, we square off in 2 of the matchups I got going on. But we got some big injuries. So Drew Brees looks like he actually just got activated from IR. I would love it if he played because I think that's a great matchup with Brees versus Mahomes. And then I think that helps Kamara's value a little bit.
That's a possible look at what the Super Bowl could be this year. The Saints are number 1 team in the NFC, and obviously I think the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC.
Yeah, we talked about that. So Packers actually got to that number 1 spot last week with the Saints loss against the Eagles. I would prefer Chiefs-Packers, and we were just talking about that before the show.
Yeah.
Rodgers versus Mahomes
would be awesome. Would be awesome.
100%.
Awesome Super Bowl.
Wicked. But yeah, so you got CMC. He's also doubtful. I'll tell you what. I made a trade for him in two of my leagues. Some leagues I actually traded him because I needed to get some wins on the board, and he wasn't helping.